Hi, everybody. All my after dark crocheters, my late at night crocheters, whatever you may be. I had hoped to do this video earlier today, but I'll confess I was so tired when I came home from school. I fell asleep right here on the couch for a little while, but that's okay. Still so tired I could go right back to sleep. Getting very close to the end of this little dog sweater. I have had to decrease so much around the bottom here that I'm afraid it's going to look really funny. As long as it keeps baby Franny warm, though, that's really all that matters, right? Just don't want her to get cold. I want to welcome all of you who are new to my channel, and all of you who have been stopping in and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And y'all have surprised me so much today. When I got up this morning, I think I had hit my 25 subscribers. I was like all excited about that. And then later I checked and it was at 31. And then I checked my phone just before I sat down here, and I think it said 39 subscribers. I am over the moon about that. I thank all of you who've hit the subscribe button so much. And if you're new here, hit subscribe, come back and join us. All I do here is talk about a little bit of crocheting, sometimes show some yarn. I have some ideas of some other stuff that I want to kind of plan a video around. If you're new, I've been working on a dog sweater for a friend of mine's little dog. And I'm, according to my pattern, I have 4 more rows of single crochet to do and then put the ribbing onto it. So it is nearly finished. Tomorrow is my last day of school, not just for the week, but for the semester. And that will mean that once my final exams have all been submitted, my students just write papers for their final in the class they're taking. Once those papers all come in and I get them graded, which will be by next Wednesday at noon, I'm on Christmas vacay. And I have my big plan for a Christmas vacay is to crochet and to work on my craft room and to crochet and to crochet and to crochet and to crochet. I've been looking at some patterns for some fingerless mitts. My hands get really cold even in the house, but particularly when I'm at school, my hands get cold. So I want to just make some that I can slide on when I'm at school, particularly if the kids are working on something and I'm not as active, then my hands and my feet will get cold. I can't exactly do anything about my toes being cold. I already have on socks and shoes, but I thought maybe the fingerless mitts would help with my cold hands and my cold fingers. I don't know. We'll see. I have just always wanted to have a pair of them, and I don't, so I'm going to crochet me a pair. Hopefully they'll turn out looking decent. We'll see. I got to see if I can find I just really want a plain pattern. I don't want one that has a lot of, I've seen some that have a lot of decoration on the back of the hand, some that have granny squares on the back of the hand. I just really want incredibly plain. I don't want anything too fancy. The other thing I want to crochet once I get through with the dog sweater, my niece, when asked what she wanted for Christmas, her response has been just gift cards. That's all I want. I want gift cards or money. And she doesn't know it yet, but I've got her a few presents tucked away. But I am going to probably give her a couple of gift cards. And I found a couple of little patterns for little crocheted envelopes that you can put a gift card or money into. And I also found a really cute cat-shaped holder. It's not specifically for a gift card, but I was thinking that it would be good for her earbuds that she uses all the time. And that maybe if they were in a cute little cat case, it would be easier for her to keep up with them. I don't know. Anyway, the title of my video tonight is Yarn Haul for Yarn I Didn't Have to Pay for. And last night after I got through talking with y'all, I got to thinking about, I had talked about going to thrift shops and not really ever being, it may not have been last night, it may have been another night that I talked about that, but how I had never really found anything in thrift shops, although other people said that they had, my hands are cold right now, as a matter of fact. But it made me remember that I guess it's probably been almost a year ago, we got a donation in my crochet group at church. We got a donation of some yarn. Somebody's mother or mother-in-law had passed away, and they brought us the yarn that she had. Well, you know, I think I've mentioned that much of what we do in our crochet group, we use just acrylic for it. We're donating it to places where it's going to get hard wear upon it. You know, when we take things to a nursing home or an assisted living center, these things are going to be, you know, they're going to be thrown in a washer, thrown in a dryer. We need something that's going to stand up. Obviously, you're not going to turn over a wool blanket to them, to anybody and say, oh, yeah, by the way, this has very specific care instructions. And if you don't do them, if you don't care for it properly, it'll get ruined. So, I mean, that's just not possible. Maxwell. Hey. Max is showing out again tonight. It's like he knows that he's on TV, so he's going to show his behind. Get up here and quit being ugly. Get up here. Come on. Get up here. There you go. So anyway, I thought I'd show you a little bit of the yarn that we got in this yarn haul. I have a bag down here with it in it. I'm not going to show y'all everything because so I've got a lot of scrap yarn in there too, and some of it doesn't have a label on it, so I'm not really even sure what it is. But I have some things that do kind of whet my interest. This, I think, from just looking down in here, I only have 2 skeins of this. Maybe there may be 3 of there. One, 2 for sure, but maybe there may be another one floating around in there. This is called, it's Barocco Bobbly or Bobbly lace. I have no idea how old this is. I don't know if that's Barocco or if it's said differently, but this is 42% wool, 35 acrylic, and 23 viscose. And there is how much in here? There's 350 yards. So I have 700 yards of this. Now it is very fine. I can't even see. It says to use a 4mm knitting needle and 4mm crochet hook. I'm thinking these are colors that I love. Turquoise, and there's purple and green in this, a lighter purple. There's a lighter purple and a darker purple. I think this would probably make a pretty scarf. 700 yards, it may not be very long. It might have to be a little skinny scarf. But I think this is very, very pretty. If there's 3 of these, I know I could definitely make a scarf. Might even, probably couldn't make really much of a shawl from it. Maybe some kind of light, lacy shawl that you would not provide any warmth at all. Also have, I think there's 3 or 4 of these. This is called Wool Bamboo. It's done by Classic Elite Yarns. Some of these were companies I had never really heard of. This is another color that I love. It's not showing up really well probably because of my lighting, but it's a sort of a terracotta or pumpkin-y color. And it is 50 wool, 50 bamboo. There's only 118 yards in the skein. I have 3 of these. I got no idea. Maybe would that make a hat? Could you make a hat out of that much? I don't know. I don't make hats. Haven't made them very often, I should say. But I don't know. So, but I think that's really pretty. So that was something that the dear sweet lady that passed away had in here. There's a bunch of other things, like there's a hank. I said I wasn't going to show y'all everything in here. This was when I first started looking at this was the first thing I looked at. Only one hank of this, and it's a Malabrigo. There's cat hair on it, I imagine. It may not be cat hair, but it's these colors are really pretty. Very purpley blue that you've got there. But just the one skein of it, and it is about 130 yards. No idea what I could do with this, but I'm going to try to figure out something. And of course, it's 100% wool. Feels really nice. I'm sure I could never find anything that would match with it, but maybe I could find some other, find enough wool to make something else out of and use this in there as sort of a complement to it. There's also some Knit Picks yarns, some wools in here. And then there's some of this. I don't really know what you do with this kind of yarn. This says this is old, y'all. It's very, very old. It was $2.07 when this woman bought it. And this is, I don't know what it is. I would think maybe you could use this to trim if you made a jacket or a sweater or something in a brown or black. You could use this to trim the edges of it. It's, let's see if I can get this chunk of it that's coming out. I don't know if you can see what that looks like. Where on earth is the camera? But it's, let's see if I can back. I don't know which is better, going closer or backing away. But it's got like this sort of, I don't even know what that is. Some sort of a line of fabric, and then it has like little dots of yarn over it. It is polyamide acrylic and wool. So I don't know if you have any ideas about what you would do with that. Let me know. It intrigues me. I'm very, very curious. I have 2 skeins of this, so there's not much of it, and there's not very much per skein. As a matter of fact, saw it on here somewhere. There's 50 grams, so there's not much of that. But I thought that was really pretty, and it is color scheme I like too. Now these 2 items were where I felt like I hit the mother lode, and I ended up with all this yarn, by the way, because it was something that we wouldn't be using for our group's crocheting. And the other ladies in the group said, oh, I would never use something like that. And I had to just about disguise my glee when they said that, because they said, oh, you can take all that. It's like, yes, I will. These are the same materials. There's one that's the gold over here, and then this one is more silver and black and gray. I really like this one a lot because I think it's, again, these are the colors that I just love, the bronzes and golds. But I only think I have there are only about 3 or 4 skeins of this. And it's not, again, there's not very much in it. About 200 yards in each of these little skeins. And this is a very, very fine yarn. It is mohair, viscose, or rayon, and polyamide. So I'm like, I've never crocheted anything with mohair. So I don't know what to do with it. Oh, my little tag is coming out. So really kind of nifty these were. Now this one, the kind of silvery black and gray one, there are about, I can't remember. I counted it when I put everything away. There's about 8 or 10 of these. And so I think she very clearly, the woman who bought these, she very clearly had a plan for what she wanted to do with this. And of course, we don't know what it is. Obviously, it's not enough to make a garment. And this is, I think, much too fine a yarn to make a sweater or something out of. But I'm thinking that maybe she planned a really pretty shawl out of this. So that's what I want to do with it. I want to take it and I want to make some sort of real pretty, I just have this, image of something that's very lacy and very feminine to make with that. So, and if y'all have any tips for me of patterns that you think might be good or whatnot, let me know, because I have not done any research to try to figure that out. It's a whole lot of yarn in here. And like I said, some of it is, like the knit picks. We could purchase that today. I'm sure it wouldn't be the same dye lot, but we could buy that and make something with it anyway. So I was all excited. I was like, I have a yarn haul and I didn't even have to pay for it. So that was something I just wanted to share with y'all. But occasionally these things do fall into our laps, from wherever they may come. There's Max. Max has decided he's like a little, he's my little pal up here. Somebody called him, I think it was Miss Elizabeth said that my pets were my co-stars. He's going to be asking for some money or some milk bone. That's what he's asking for. Again, it's almost bedtime, and he says, when am I getting my treats, Mom? That's what I need is my treats. So he'll be getting those very soon. No doubt about that. Last few days have left me feeling tired. So I'm glad that tomorrow is my Friday. It's the end of the week and the end of the semester. I'll be off. I'll be out of school until the 20th of January. I don't have to go back until then. So I'm pretty excited about that. The kids were not so much because they get stuck with, that makes it sound so pejorative. But they have a teacher who, in essence, her whole job with them is just to kind of babysit them, and when I'm not there, when we haven't started our next class, they don't have any work to do for me. So they have to find homework or something from other classes that they take to work on. And she's probably as lenient on them as I am. When we have, if a kid has finished their paper and everybody else is still working, if they want to, just click around on the internet, I'm fine with that. Some of them play hangman, and I can't help myself. I usually have to go over and get involved in their hangman games, see what they're doing. I have no idea what Orlando is doing in the kitchen. It's making noises. Unusual. So I don't have a lot to report today, just working on Franny's little sweater. I'm going to be making, it's going to be finished soon. And I say yay, it makes it sound like it's not something that I've enjoyed working on. I have. It's just that it seems like it's taken a very long time for a quite small project. I had planned to just like almost immediately start on one for Max. And now I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm a little bit burnt out on the sweater making. So I don't know if his is going to come up as quickly. We'll still have cold weather after Christmas. we don't usually have, our winters are pretty mild, even though I complain about the cold. But usually it's like January and February are colder than any other time of the year that we have. December is not that cold. Now, my nephew who lives in North Dakota, gosh, I can't remember what his mother told me. They had 6 inches of snow overnight. He couldn't even get the kids out to school this morning because the roads, their road had not been plowed, the street they live on. They only live a few blocks from the school that the kids go to. And he couldn't even get the kids to school because the snow had fallen overnight. It was a cold, obviously cold. That was done. It was a wet and slushy snow. I don't, when we have snow here, we just call it snow. We're happy with it. I guess our snow here is probably often just wet and squishy. But he didn't want to walk the children to school, so they didn't get out and get to school today. And he didn't know if he was going to be able to make it into work because of the fact that he couldn't get out of his own driveway and get on the streets. I can't even imagine. And I know some of y'all live in climates where y'all have weather like that. I just can't even imagine it. And it blows my mind to think about it. So I keep splitting the same yarn over and over here. Don't know what the problem is. Just having trouble pulling through there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off for tonight. Like I said, not much to talk about. Maybe over the weekend when I'm able to make some progress and maybe even start on a couple of other little things, then I'll have more things to show you, more stuff to talk about. But tonight just kind of seems to be a quiet night as far as the crocheting is going. I think I can't decide if I'm going to go to bed or if I'm going to put something on TV and try to crochet these last few rows on this little sweater before I go to bed tonight. Probably won't do the ribbing tonight, but I could get these last 4 rows done, couldn't I? Anyway, I want to thank you again for tuning in, listening to me ramble, listen to me talk about crocheting, about yarn, about my crazy dog over here, all my crazy cats. I really appreciate all of you who have subscribed, everybody who's left a comment, and I know I have some comments to catch up on. Just please keep commenting. I really enjoy reading what you have to say. I want to know what's going on with y'all. If you have any ideas of things to crochet, something you've enjoyed crocheting that you think I might like as well, let me know. I'm always up for that. So anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow night, maybe a little earlier, maybe not, probably not. I can't ever seem to get my act together until 10 o'clock or later, but I will see y'all then. And until then, happy crocheting. If you haven't subscribed, please think about it. Like the video, give me a comment. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.